Happy New Year, ladies! Are you as excited to start this new decade as I am? Or are you just kind of like, another year, another set of problems, another set of goals or resolutions that don't end up coming into fruition? So today's episode is going to be all about setting goals instead of resolutions and the 5 steps that I have for you to help you achieve those goals. And we'll break it down. Okay, so first, let's talk about resolutions. We all know that word. We all hate that word, resolutions. It means resolute. It means set in stone and it has to happen, which means when we set these resolutions, we make them with such good intentions. And then by the end, 6 months down the road or by the end of the year, we feel it's just another way to feel bad about ourselves, right? And as moms, we have enough going on. We're managing everybody's schedules along with our own that things come up and we can't always get everything on our resolution list complete, right? But at the same time, we want to make goals, and it's good to have goals, and it's good to, whether it's become better as a person, whether it's education, whether it's with your kids or your family or your job. It doesn't matter what it is good to have goals. So let's switch the mindset from having a set resolution that absolutely has to happen to making goals. And how do we do this? Well, the first step, number 1, is mindset. You have to have the right mindset. Just like when you think of the word resolution, you're like, ugh, and roll your eyes. Well, if you go into any type of goal setting with a mindset that you've already failed, then guess what? You're going to fail. Or if you automatically go in just with, negative Nancy, you think of everything that could possibly go wrong, then again, those things will happen. So, I urge you, when you think about your goals, is to think about how it could go right. Always keep in mind that I will get this done. I will make this happen. If you go in with a positive attitude and knowing that and with a clear mind, then you can achieve your goals. You just have to make the right steps. They don't just come in, they just don't happen because you dream about them. You do have to make them happen. And we will talk about that as well. So along with mindset, you can do so many different things to get your head right. Always start at the beginning of your day. It can be 2 minutes when you're laying in bed after you've hit that snooze button before you get up. It can be when you take your shower. Some people where you just take a few deep breaths, calm your mind, think about what your goals are for that day and what you want to accomplish. Some people will also use prayer. They will lean on their faith to help keep them focused. They will use yoga or meditation. There's so many different types of methods that can be used just to help keep you in a positive frame of mind. Because let's face it, especially as moms, something is going to happen every day that definitely tries your patience and will attempt to push you to that negative side. So having an outlet or something that helps you refocus and come back to clarity and happiness and the I can do it attitude is going to be something that you will definitely need, especially during those late nights when you don't get to bed on time, or those early mornings, those midnight feedings, whatever it ends up being. So mindset is key. So start with that, okay? The other thing is to begin where you're at. You always have to start where you're at in order to reach your goals. So it's good to have a list of goals, which we'll talk about in just a second. But even before then, take stock of exactly where you are. Be brutally honest with yourself as a person. It's not always easy, it's not always fun, and it's not always pretty. Try not to be emotional about it. Try to look more like if you were a doctor or a scientist and look at yourself from an objective point of view, whether it is your health and fitness, whether, again, it's your job or your education or family life, whatever it ends up being, start where you're at. Um, if you don't start where you're at, then you're never going to get to where you want to be. It's hard to make the right steps and the list of steps in order to actually climb the ladder to get to those goals and be able to celebrate at the end. And the next thing, that was number 2. So start where you're at. It's number 2. Number 1 is mindset. Number 2, begin where you are. Number 3, now it's time to break it down. I'm a dreamer, and it's good to be a dreamer because that keeps you, that keeps you happy, that keeps you going. But being a dreamer doesn't always get things done. So we need to take these dreams and make them into tangible, realistic goals. And how we do that is to grab a piece of paper or a notebook or a journal, and this will be the thing that takes probably the most time. But if you sit down, you have, a little bit of time to work on it here or there and get this done within this first week, then it's going to set you up for success for your whole year. You write down your yearly goals, you write down your monthly goals, and then you write down your daily goals. And so your yearly goals would be kind of like your dreamer goals. You can even go as big as like 10-year plan or 5-year plan. But, that's not for me because everything always changes for me. But so let's just say your yearly goal is your big goal. So then in order to reach that big goal, what 3 steps must you take to make that happen? And those would be your monthly goals. So then each month you would want to accomplish, 1, 2, or 3, whatever that may be. And they're still significant goals, but something that you can do each month. And you can do this with each of your big goals. Excuse me. Once you get the monthly goals, again, you take each of those monthly goals, 1, 2, 3, and you break each of those down by 3 into your weekly goals. So what can you do to get things done each week that will then build upon itself, that will help you reach those monthly goals? And then again, you've probably guessed this, take the weekly goals down to your daily tasks. That's exactly what you're going to need to do to make anything happen. It's all about consistency. It's all about getting those daily goals done, which will then lead to your weekly goals, which will lead to your monthly goals, which will then into that New Year's celebration. I feel great about myself. I accomplished this. Yay! Party that we all look forward to and all hope for, right? So I know that sounds like a lot of work, the breaking it down, and it is, it is a process, but once you get that down, you have it written and you can put it up on your wall. You then, if you have like a planner or just a daily journal, you can each morning write down what your daily goals are, and that will then lead to what you need to accomplish. So with that in mind, I just talked about the journal. That brings us to number 4, write it down. You can't measure what you don't track, okay? So you always have to, this came thanks to a sweet lady that I used to work for a while ago. She used to always say, write your numbers down, write your numbers down, write everything down, write it down. You have to record it, you have to track it. You don't track it, you can't measure it, you can't see how far you've come. So that comes from health and fitness, that's from, your schoolwork, that comes from your jobs and promotions and getting into a job. That even comes from your daily chores at home and what you're trying to accomplish at home. So when you write it down, it's a way of holding yourself accountable, which is very important when it comes to reaching goals. If you are not accountable, well, you know what? Netflix starts looking pretty good, and so does, anything else that can keep us from doing what we know we need to do. I can personally vouch for that. I'm fantastic at procrastinating. So I have to hold myself accountable and make these lists. You can use your phone. Don't rely completely on your brain. Again, as a pregnant mama, I know all about that whole pregnant brain thing, but then also just in general, when you have kids, when you have family, when you have busy life, you're trying to keep up with everything. It's hard to keep up with it all. Just write it down. Do yourself a favor. It's one less thing for your brain to occupy your brain. It's going to make it easier in the long run. I don't know why I am 34 years old and I'm still trying to learn this, but please, please learn faster than me. So write it down. And that way, also on those days that you start to get discouraged, you can take a moment and look back. And you can say, wow, I've done this and this and this already. I know I'm feeling down today and like everything is useless. I might as well give up. Everything's working against me. But after looking at all of this, I can do this. And hopefully that will help you, again, bring your mind back, help you with your clarity and your mindset, and just bring you back on board and bring you back into that positive mindset. So then you're ready to get to your goals again. Okay, so number 5. So here's the big one, and this is the most simple one. Do something every single day. That's it. You have your list of tasks. Do something every day that pushes you towards your goal. I guess I should clarify that a little bit more. That pushes you towards your goal. And you will have different goals. You will have one in each category, whether it's like family life, money, religion, friendship, education, health and fitness, all of those different buckets. Just do something every day. At least choose one and do something every day. It is easy to get overwhelmed, especially if you are anything like me. I want to get everything done, and I want to get it done now, and I want it, I want to be able to snap my fingers or wiggle my nose and everything magically happens. And then when it doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen in the time frame that I want it to, I get discouraged and I'll start to feel down on myself, which then has a ripple effect. And then I end up, again, with a bowl of popcorn in front of the TV, just trying to forget about it. So let's avoid that this year, especially now that we're in a new decade, and just do something every day. Do something you can be proud of. It's easy to wake up in the morning and make a list of 3 things you want to do, and you do those 3 things. So if you've got a newborn strapped to you, or if you're taking care of, 4 little ones, and your task may be very simple, but if it moves you forward towards your goal, take a moment at the end of the day to look back and say, okay, I did this, and check it off. And know that you did something great that day. You do something great every day. You're a mom. And you're you. So the 5 steps for goal setting, and again, this is very basic. They can all be broken down a little bit more, but number 1 is have the right mindset. Number 2, start where you're at. Okay? Be brutally honest with yourself. So that way you can make the right steps to get to where you want to be. Number 3, break it down step by step, yearly, monthly, weekly, daily. You can be as extreme as hourly. I think that's a little bit hard for most moms, but if you have your kiddos on a strict schedule, it may work for you. Number 4, write it down. You have to track it or you'll never see your progress. You can never look back and see it, and it's easier to get lost in the shuffle. Number 5, do something every single day that moves you towards your goal. If you do one little thing that moves you to your goal, it may take you a little bit longer to get there, but you will get there. Just do something every single day. Okay? And number 6/bonus, give yourself grace. Be patient. Be kind. Things come up when you're a mom. We have bad days. We have hormonal, imbalances and moodiness that can come after you have a baby or while you're pregnant or during certain times of the month. and you have, your family may end up having to come first or before your goals, or kids are sick, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, give yourself grace. Look back at the day, give yourself credit for what you actually accomplished, and pat yourself on the back. And again, say, tomorrow's a new day. It's a clean slate, and I will try to do this, and this tomorrow. But for now, I'm happy with what I did. I'm proud of myself for what I've done. And go to bed serene and knowing that you did a great job. And you're a mom, and you are loved, and you are going to get to your goals. It just takes some dedication, and it's hard. So just be patient, take your time, and you will get there. So those are my tips for setting goals in 2020? Holy cow. I'm going to start losing years now. I'm at that age. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Mom Talks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Mom Talks. Your support is invaluable, so please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. For even more extras and bonus content, be sure to visit Mom Talks' Patreon page.